In every pickleball match, especially at the lower levels, there are times when players can get easy points, either by taking advantage of their opponent's mistakes or putting themselves in better positions. However, something that might not be in your pickleball tool belt right now is a small handful of pickleball strokes that will confuse your opponents and catch them off guard. This video discusses 5 deceptive pickleball shots to win easy points. Of course, you can't use these shots too often, otherwise your opponents could catch on and make you pay. But the right shot at the right moment could make all the difference in the match. Hello and welcome to Pro Pickleball Media, your #1 spot for all pickleball content. Our channel is dedicated to the fastest growing sport in the US, and we cover all fun and exciting things related to pickleball. So if you love pickleball and want to learn more about it, just take a second to subscribe and press the bell icon so you don't miss any of our recent videos. In today's video, we're going to talk about 5 deceptive pickleball shots to win every match effortlessly. Now, let's get right into the video. Number 5, the flip speed back. Most of the time, this shot is used when everyone is up in the kitchen for a dinking. To make the shot, we'll bring our paddles back like we would for a dink, but as we bring them forward, we'll flick our wrists instead of hitting a dink shot. If you do this right, you can surprise your opponent with a quick drive shot. This quick flick can be much more effective than pulling your club back like you would for a normal drive. It can be done with either the forehand or the backhand, but most people find that the forehand works better. You want that moment of surprise, which is what makes this shot so good. You should also think about where to drive the shot. Most of the time, the person in front of you is the best target, even more so if you just hit a volley across the court. You make it look like you're aiming across the court again, but instead you flick your wrist and the ball goes right at the opponent standing in front of you. You should also try to hit it right down the middle between your opponents. Number 4, the disguised drop shot. The word deceptiveness was chosen as the topic of this video for a specific reason. The next shot does the opposite of the last one. At this point, you need to pay attention to how far back towards the baseline your opponents are playing, and then bring your paddle back as if you were about to hit the ball at them. But instead of driving, you execute a fast drop shot that lands just inside their kitchen, where it is just out of reach for them. This shot is extremely effective against opponents who move more slowly and have less mobility. However, there are 3 other scenarios in which you can employ this shot to great effect. The first shot is off the bounce and your opponent smashes the ball too high with their drop shot due to the unfortunate mishap. The trick is making this shot work is to make it look like you're driving while actually paddling more slowly. The second scenario takes place off a higher, more manageable volley. If your opponent manages to pop the ball between your shoulders and hips, the best bet is to go for the kill by driving the ball down at their feet. However, you can sometimes add deceit by acting as though you are ready to do that, but then stopping short of actually doing it. This shot can also be taken off an overhand pass as a final option. You now have the perfect opportunity to drop the ball short rather than going for the long shot. Go behind the net, raise your paddle in the same manner as you would for your slam, and then gently touch the ball so that it goes over the net. If you have the chance to take an overhead shot and your opponents are already back, it is possible that they will start moving even further back in order to get out of the way of your slam shot. Now, before we move ahead to talk about more game-changing pickleball tips, please take a second to like this video and subscribe to our channel so that we can keep bringing more informative pickleball content to you. Your little contribution means a lot for us. Number 3, the lob. When all the players are towards the front of the net, lobs are utilized the vast majority of the time. When everyone else is dinking and none of them are anticipating a ball going over their heads, this stroke works wonderfully. The lob shot is a lot like the wrist flick in that most important things is to make sure you are not telegraphing it. Take the paddle back like you're about to dink, but at the last second, flick the ball over the heads of the opposing team. This delicate shot requires a lot of effort to perfect, but once you get it down, it is an extremely useful one to have in your arsenal. If you hit it too softly, it will be easy for your opponents to make an overhead shot. If you push yourself too far, it will come out the rear. The final piece of advice for this stroke is to make an effort to hit the lob over the backhand of your opponent. When you hit it over their forehand, it increases the likelihood that they'll be able to reach it with their paddle. Number 2, the poach. Whenever you're in the kitchen with a partner, it is customarily expected of you to be liable for the balls that pass via the position in which you are standing. If you cross to your partner's side when your opponent is expecting it, you can take a quick shot at a ball that was intended for your partner. This works best if the timing is just right. Although you have your partner's best interests at heart, you decide to steal the ball from them. The majority of the time, players will take this shot while they are on the team that is serving. After a player makes their third shot, the other player stealthily makes their way to the kitchen. This strategy is effective because if the third shot is successful and the player who struck it is still in the back, the opposing team will most likely hit a ball at the player who is still in the back. This will allow the first team to score. The player who is serving in the kitchen has the ability to anticipate this and go across the court to pick the ball out of the air with a powerful volley stroke that can be directed between or away from their competitors. The disadvantage of the strategies is that if your third shot is poor and you've already committed to poaching, the opposing team will have a large opening in which they can easily score a point by hitting the ball too. The act of poaching is fraught with danger, but if successful, it could result in the best catch of the day. Number 1, the spin serve. A truly good spin serve might be one of the most frustrating shots to play against in pickleball, because it has the potential to throw off the game or anger your opponent. Many players choose not to even utilize it. It's not a good idea, unless you're a professional, to make everyone you play with detest playing against you, especially if you want to win. However, you should only attempt this infamous shot if you are desperate for a point and don't believe you will be kicked out of the game by your usual playing partners. The objective of this serve is to impart some spin into the ball while you still have it in your hand, so that when it makes contact with a surface, it shoots off in a specific path. The rules of 2022 state that you're only allowed to spin the ball with one hand, thus being good at this takes some time. And curiously enough, due to the fact that this spin is so successful, it is strictly prohibited to be used on the PPA Tour. Your goal should be to go directly between the ball and react as soon as the ball bounces one way or the other as soon as the ball hits the court. If you are experiencing a great deal of discomfort when facing a spin serve, or if you have observed that your opponent is getting a lot more movement once the ball hits the court. If either of these scenarios applies to you, then your goal should be to get directly between the ball. Some players will position themselves to the side of the ball in the hope that it will bounce directly back into the spot where their paddle is waiting. If the guy serving does not spin the ball, you may be able to get away with this. But if the ball has some kind of spin on it, it may spin away from you and make it so that you completely miss your shot. Be sure to get behind the ball and be ready to react swiftly as soon as you know which direction the ball is spinning to once you figure out which way it's going. Now, go out there and get those easy points. So what is your opinion about deceptive shots in pickleball? Tell us in the comments. Also, don't forget to like this video and share it with your fellow picklers. Also, if you love pickleball, then make sure to watch the next video on our channel. Thanks for watching. Bye.